Hey friends, I'm Riff. Make sure to hit that like button. Today, let's dive into the Retro Game of the Year. I have two little simple rules for this. A Retro Game of the Year means it is either a game that came out this year that was super inspired by retro games, retro graphics, retro designs, or is an actual remake or a remaster of a actual retro game. So here we go.
Hey, the hips, sugar. Come on and shake that cute little booty of yours. Ow!
Sonic Mania is the first one, and this came out in August across all new platforms. This one was a really exciting game for me to play this year. That's because I was never really the biggest Sonic fan back in the day. I always liked Sonic, but I didn't love it enough to staple it as a franchise that I called my own and that I always wanted to spend time with. But that was until I saw so many people in the community talking so much about this game, saying how good it was, how praising of the game they were. And then I actually saw some reviews that said even if you aren't a Sonic fan, you need to try this game out, and that put me over the edge. And when I tried it, it was what I remembered as Sonic, but so much better. The gameplay felt so great. There was so many different mechanics on every other level of the different levels. They weren't all the same type of ways to get around. There was different platforming and bouncing and different bubbles and different mechanics that launched you across the world. And I myself got sucked into the game and actually ended up texting and calling my brothers and my friends who aren't Sonic fans saying, you need to try this game out. Sonic Mania has now cemented Sonic as a game that I love. This is a great game. It's back here. Sonic. The next one is Blaster Master Zero. Now this game was one of the first games to come out for the Nintendo Switch, and what a great way to start. Whenever I hear of a game or a franchise that I love coming out into a modern console, I'm always super excited, but I'm always a little scared as well, because you always think, okay, it's gonna be awesome because I love it, but what if they butcher it and ruin the name I love? But this game stayed super faithful to the NES version, but also adding so much to it with great graphics, great new mechanics, and really importantly for me, a lot of new weapons on the game. And I felt like all the weapons brought a whole new functionality of Jason and Sophia, and it made myself love the game even more than I ever remembered. I also was able to finish the game, which was huge for me because when I was younger, I never was able to finish the NES version. It was always a little too hard for me and a little too much exploring, but this one kept me in the game. And I'm not saying that they made the difficulty that much easier, they just made the experience that much better and more enjoyable to go through the game and actually want to get that ending. They also added some story in the game, which was great because the original had some story, but it didn't give us too much throughout the game. This game brought a lot of that to us. The game also had some optional DLC to download as well, which I myself enjoyed and did get because it was characters that I wanted to add onto the game, like Shantae or Shovel Knight, and also these characters brought a whole new element and a whole new level of fun to the game and a whole new game experience really upon playing it. And the DLC was only $1.99, and like I said, it wasn't mandatory to beat the game. It was completely optional, and I got it after I already beat the game. On September 29th, I got the game that I have been dying to get my hands on for the longest time, and that is Cuphead. Studio MDHR brought me my actual literal reason for purchasing an Xbox One, and that is the beautiful game that I have been awaiting since E3 of 2015, just playing a little demo. I have been waiting to play this game with hopes of it being really, really good, and sometimes feeling like it might let me down because it was taking so long, making me worry. But when I got my hands on it, what a great experience. I don't need to talk about it because it has been talked about to death by a lot of people, but the graphics are ridiculous. The gameplay is ridiculous, and I have to say, it is not as hard as everybody says, or at least for myself it wasn't. I know everyone has their own style of games and what they're good at, but for me, beating this game and getting my hands on this game was a brilliant experience. Not rage-inducing, it was fun. Yes, there was some difficulty in it, but it was fun difficulty. I even got some rare achievement, which 0.08% of gamers got, I guess. It was to beat King Dice with no damage taken, and I did it, and I got it, and it was pretty exciting. But other than that, the game from start to finish has been a game that I love, and I'm looking forward to playing more of in the future. Hopefully we get a part 2 in the future, and the game just this week did sell 2 million copies, so congratulations Cuphead, congratulations Mugman, and congratulations Studio MDHR. Because he didn't even move. See, this is like the last time, he just stood there. Will anybody tell me, is the game supposed to do this? I really don't know. I'm just holding. Why? So what was your retro game of the year? Remember the rules. It either has to be retro inspired and look retro or old school, or an actual HD remaster or remake of a retro game. Let me know in the comments below. Thank you guys so much for subscribing and the support. We love it. We have too much fun and we love you. We really do. Thank you. Have a Merry, Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Yes! I beat him! I beat Cuphead!